Spring is in the air right up until Christmas Day. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us. We've got an unsettled weather pattern leading right up to the start of next week. We've got 3 colder changes. One is happening today, the other one's on Friday, and the next one comes on Monday. So those temperature resets are going to make it colder than average at times for some areas, and that starts today with colder than average weather moving up the eastern side of the country, and especially around the lower half of the North Island, where you've not only got the southerly, but you've also got plenty of rain that's been pushing around. So a colder day and windy in the north, gale force winds around Auckland City. They will ease later on this afternoon or evening. So this is the setup on Thursday. High pressure is to our north and low pressure to the south. That setup makes the westerly winds come back again. So a windy day on Thursday, that's part of the reason why we're saying it's a spring-like pattern. And by the way, spring patterns in December, very normal. You know, some people don't say that summer kicks off until you get to about the 21st or 22nd of December, so that's this coming weekend. Unsettled weather, we get it right through until January some years, so I'm not overly surprised about this, and it's actually good news in many cases because it is driving in rain to some dry places. Thursday, however, will be mostly dry, and so after the rain that's just fallen, you'll probably notice the garden and the grass starting to grow a little bit faster. But we have another colder change on Friday coming back in again. So while Australia's got the hot weather on the other side of the high, with the winds coming out of the tropics and going over the desert, that same airflow cools right down, goes off the screen and back up again into the New Zealand area as a southerly flow. So Friday, another burst of rain and even snow on the ranges. Friday's a cold day in the South Island. Some places will be struggling to get into double digits. There'll be highs around 11 and 12 degrees. That does happen from time to time in December, but after the hot weather we've just had, bit of a shock to the system, and also it does line up with what we and IBM are forecasting in our seasonal forecast, where the west coast and southland, for example, lean a little bit wetter and cooler than average. So we might be seeing that pattern continuing on into January. Meanwhile, that cold front moves into the North Island on Friday, so starts off warm with those nor'westers and ends colder with the southwest change and a burst of showers. Some of you won't get much, others of you maybe a little further down the country get a heavier fall. So let's go into the weekend. Saturday is a little cool to begin with, and the North Island's got a bit of a southerly flow and some showers, so you might find those eastern areas are a little bit cooler than average. But on the other end, a nor'west flow coming out of Australia. You can see the heat wave, it's captured inside that red line. It's trying to spill out with that northwesterly. So if that setup wasn't changing, and it stayed like that for a few days, we would end up getting that hot Australian airflow coming through. But on Sunday, there's another change where you find those sou'westers are coming back in again, and it pushes that red line northwards. So the hot weather, a little bit of it will be coming into the North Island around Sunday. Otherwise, not a lot going on, to be honest with you. So we kick off next week. This is where we have a southerly change. This is it here coming through again on Monday. So temperatures drop again as we go into Monday across parts of New Zealand. Some will be below average, others about normal for this time of the year. But I guess the main one we want to focus on, Christmas Eve, and you start to see what is happening as we head towards Christmas Day. High pressure to the west, slowly starting to push in. Southerlies making colder than average weather in eastern areas, but high pressure is likely to drop and grow, we think at this stage, around southern and southwestern parts of New Zealand. So that could encourage a southeasterly wind in these eastern areas. Take a look at the news story on our homepage right now, or in the news section of our weather app. We talk all about Christmas Day, and we even list the centres, the main centres that are likely to be a little bit colder this year. We're starting to see that a little more clearly, and showers more likely in eastern areas, but we might get a couple that bubble up in the North Island's inland areas in the west on Christmas Day due to afternoon heating. So we're not locking this in, we're just giving you the early forecast right up till Christmas Eve. So join us tomorrow, we'll give you our Christmas Day outlook, and we'll do that again on Friday for our final video of the year. That's all from me for today.